Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Rhinestone Island, episode 37, and the first thing we're going to start off here today before we do anything else is something that has been requested of me for quite some time now, and you might already know what I'm talking about. It was probably like, 3 episodes ago now that we started on this marina, and I plopped all these boats down. I kind of did like a quick pass on what marinas looked like. I did a lot of research, just visually by looking at Google Maps of various marinas, and I was really focused on, designing the layout of the marina and how these different little extensions and docks would look, and sort of what you're going to see on the inner parts of the marina and all that stuff. But what I didn't really look at was the orientation of the boats, and as it turns out, and as many of you guys pointed out in the comments like 3 episodes ago, it seems like there are hardly any places where boats aren't almost always facing outwards. I mean, occasionally you're going to see some boats that are facing inwards, and it's just kind of, probably just like lazy on the boat owner's part. But for the most part, it makes total sense to park them all facing outwards. And once I found that out after that episode, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be awful. I don't want to just go back and plop all these boats again. It's going to be terrible. Well, you might notice that I'm using the Move It tool, and there's been an update actually. This happened, I think it happened a little while ago actually, but I never really used these features until now. But the new Move It tool is actually way more amazing than you might guess. First of all, you can see the marquee tool there. I'm just like dragging and selecting, like mass selecting things, which is already incredible. From there, you can fully rotate things, you can re-click and drag things. The thing that's really amazing about the marquee tool is that if you drag the marquee over, I don't know, just any assets hitbox area, it's always going to pick it up. So that's incredible, because if you're trying to pick up something like, say, maybe like a boat is kind of overshadowed by a larger boat's hitbox, then it's almost impossible to click on that boat as a prop and then move it. Well, with the marquee tool, you can just drag and it selects both of them, because anything in that marquee tool is going to get selected. That does make a lot of sense, but what I'm trying to say is even assets that you can't click on, you can select with the marquee tool. So for example, placing those little fire asset things, those like animated fires, they used to be impossible to move and impossible to delete without some special mod. Well, now with the marquee tool, you can select them. You can't really delete them with the marquee tool, but you can definitely move them around, which is super useful. So no more worrying about permanently having a little fire, a little like fire asset just sitting there and you can't delete it or whatever. So that's pretty nice. But anyway, so back to what's going on right now. So you might see I'm going to go back and touch up a little bit on the 2 resorts. I had left a little bit that I wanted to finish, primarily just the entry points and stuff, nothing crazy, and then just a little bit of foliage on the outside. But the main thing for today's episode is going to be the building of a new beach. So I mentioned this last episode, but we're going to have a beach over here next to this resort. It's going to be on the other side of the little peninsula there, and we're going to use these amazing new rocks that I'm plopping down right now. These are incredible, by the way. These rocks are like awesome. They're some of the first rock assets we've had since, honestly, I can't think of any really good rock assets being released since the other rocks that I use, which came out like over a year ago or something. For some reason, rock assets aren't very popular on the workshop for whatever reason. Plenty of really awesome foliage always coming out, but not a whole lot of custom rocks. So these have a pretty okay try count, nothing too crazy, but still, relatively high. But they are rocks, so you expect that. But they look amazing. So you'll see me use these to kind of shape up the end of the peninsula quite a bit here as we work on this beach. But we're going to start out here with plopping down some parking lots and things, pretty like basic. And I'm not going to stick with this concrete look. I just wanted to get the actual working parking lots in first before we go in and detail them later on. I think I might just leave them concrete for a little while though, just to kind of really, I just want to have a feel for where the parking was going to be before we started on the actual beach and this sort of retaining wall on the beach we're going to have here. So the first thing I did was put some little walkways there and then create this sort of like hump on the beach. I think it's pretty common to have this like little hill right at the end of the beach with lots of rocks on it and lots of grass and things. This is very, I think, common. It's just the natural way that beaches are formed, right? You're going to have the very water eroded sand where all the water has actually gotten to, and then you're going to have sort of like a hill here that prevents the water from moving up any further and damaging property beyond the beach. So that's what we got here, and I've always noticed about these types of beaches, it seems like right on top of that little hill you're gonna have tons of like wild grass and bushes and things. I'm not gonna go crazy with trees or palm trees or anything. I just wanted to get the simple low to the ground foliage and stuff, you know, the occasional palms here and there, but for the most part I want to keep the view nice over here, especially because this is supposed to be relatively close to our resort, so I would assume people living or staying in that little resort would have access to this beach over here. And then once we got these paths connected, I wanted to use the surface painter tool to sort of tweak them a bit, make them shaped a bit more naturally, and then get into, I always like to go back and put some foliage kind of surrounding them before we do probably a couple little fences here and there, just like up and down on these little walkways in. But you're going to see quite a bit of these decals that I'm putting down right now as we continue to detail all of the ridges and the cliffs all along the outside of this peninsula. Something about that decal in particular, the rock decal and these new rocks that got released, they just work really well together. I know that those decals came out a while ago, so it's really convenient that those work so well together, but they really help blend the rocks in with the grass and the sand and stuff, so highly recommend using those. They're fantastic. But continuing on, we got some grass around here just kind of on the outside, just shaping up the areas surrounding the parking lot and getting all of the foliage done, and now we're going to jump into the actual parking lot. So like I said before, I wanted to get back to this sort of like dirt looking parking area. Now I was a little bit on the fence about this. I initially wanted to use all concrete. It kind of felt like concrete could be pulled off here because, you know, it is a pretty nice area and a nice resort, and I kind of feel like this is like linked in a way to that resort, and as a result I'd imagine there'd be lots of concrete and nice parking. But I don't know, something about having those big concrete slabs there didn't really sit well with me. I felt like it should be a nice kind of less intrusive, just like dirt parking lot area. I don't know. I don't really know if it's that common to have concrete parking lots near beaches. I'm sure it is in places like Venice Beach or more developed commercial beaches, but this beach felt to me like more of like a private, secluded beach, which I would then think would have not as much concrete. So that's where this came from. But in the actual beach detail, or the actual parking lot detailing, I just wanted to do a couple little divisions so it's not just like straight parking. We got some porta potties out here for everybody who's, you know, maybe we're not going to have any sort of like full-size facilities for restrooms. I just wanted to have some porta potties. Also this little like bench seating arrangement over here, just like some park benches, and we'll have some trash cans as well and stuff. Some lighting for this parking lot, of course, and little details like that. Just things that I would imagine to be almost like we're designing a trailhead. I think that this area would be relatively low maintenance, not going to have any actual facilities that need, like, I don't know, janitors and people to come in and clean. But beyond that, really not a whole lot else going on over here. Just some decals to kind of make this dirt look a little bit less, I don't know, the same. And then we'll plop down some of these little pieces of grass, and then of course we'll do some parking, some cars as well, because these parking lots are real parking lots, so cars will park in here, but not a whole lot of cars are probably going to use these because there really isn't much of an incentive to come down here. I'm going to plop some people park generators over here near the beach so we at least get some visitors, but really there's not really any reason that anybody would come and try and park in this parking lot, so I wanted to fill it out just so it have some interesting things going on. But here we go, moving on to what I was talking about earlier, having some little split fence kind of things going up and down these little entry points. I like to make those kind of jagged, weird looking fences that have like broken pieces and kind of they all sort of fizzle out at the bottom as if it's been there for a long time and kind of beaten up or something. I don't know, I just thought it'd be kind of cool. But anyway, we'll get on to the actual beach now. So throwing down some lifeguard towers, some of these umbrellas with beach chairs and stuff all along the outside. I'm also using the surface painter tool to get rid of those weird like, I think that's the ruin texture sitting underneath them that comes up with any prop that you place down that sort of looks out of place. So I'll go back with the surface painter and fix that in the future. I am using quite a few of these rock assets along these cliffs. I just kind of imagine that these cliffs in particular would be pretty rough, pretty rocky, so they're going to have a lot more rocks than the rest of the cliffs and just the rest of the coast, I guess, in general. So we're using that, and then also lots of this tall grass, especially on the top. I'm focusing on making big clusters of tall grass on the top of these hills that are right on the outside of the rocks here. And then getting into the lower to the ground wild grass stuff here and there, and then of course back to this decal again. That, I mean, look at that, it really does blend everything, especially I think between the rock and the sand there. It's a nice way to kind of combine those two, so definitely an awesome combination there. I'm gonna flatten out this area a little bit. I want to have the path go up here. I'm gonna have eventually a neighborhood up there, so I wanted to have it kind of flat and a nice little view with, of course, access to the beach over there. So that's what that's all about. And then finally we'll jump in here and do some palm trees and some of these details that would go along with more of a beachside cliff area. But I have to say, I think this little like upper plateau area really did turn out nicely. I like how the rocks sort of surround the whole thing, and then we'll of course have room for a neighborhood up there. But I think it makes this whole road as you drive up to these or this single, I guess, hotel resort really nice. It looks really cool, so that was a cool little addition there. Doing some clusters of bushes and wild grass over here as well, and I'm gonna try and make a little kind of walkway with broken up fencing again going up this way towards the neighborhoods over there. And then finally, the last thing that I wanted to do today before we get to the live portion is I wanted to detail this coffee shop. I know that I kind of left it barren last time, so pretty basic stuff really. I'm just gonna go in here, make a little drive through. I'm gonna make a gate for our pool over here with some bollards just to block off anybody from driving their car into that gate, I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's a gate there already, but I wouldn't really want to have just like open access to that. I want to have some protection for our pedestrians there. So we got that. We got the exit point. This was kind of an awkward area. I wanted to have a car exit point for this drive through, but it felt kind of weird to have it go that far out onto the sidewalk. So I sort of brought the sidewalk in a bit so that it's closer to the road here. And we got some arrows pulling you in and out of the drive-through, making I think this is like a stop line that I wanted to have here. Just trying to make it feel natural, because it is kind of weird to have a road that's like right up on the sidewalk like that. So I don't know, kind of hard to make it look normal, but I did my best. And then here, just some like fenced off seating areas. I noticed a lot especially in places like these Starbucks, but really just any of these kind of restaurants. You'll see like these black gate kind of outdoor gated off areas with seating and whatnot. So we tried to incorporate that a little bit to fill the space, and you know, all that empty concrete could then serve a purpose, I guess. And then from here, just gonna do some last minute detailing and work on this back area, throw down some dumpsters and stuff, and then that pretty much does it for this time lapse. So let's go ahead now, jump to the live portion, and start working on the expansion of Copperville and make some progress. All right, welcome back to what's going to be the second half of this episode, just some live stuff. I just want to point out again how amazing these rocks are. I know I've said it like a billion times, but I cannot believe how awesome these are, and also how long it's been since we've had new rocks. I mean, we've only really had like one other really good set. I think it was, let me see if I can pull it real quick. It's like yeah, it's all these right here. These are like the ones that came out a super long time ago. I mean, like these have been out since, I think, Fluxburg even. I mean, they're like at least a year old at this point. So these new rocks are fantastic. I really hope that we get some more rocks kind of like this. Maybe some even larger rocks that sort of follow the same kind of style that would fit, you know, on like mountains, you know, up here somewhere, like big kind of larger feature rocks that would obviously be maybe some higher poly rocks that you wouldn't want to plop down everywhere or anything, but and maybe even some like smaller rocks, because you can see right now that this whole object is like one big object, and that's the smallest size that they come in. It'd be pretty awesome to have some like very, very simple ground cover rocks that are sort of the same size as like these individual assets here. But anyway, regardless, these are amazing. So huge props to whoever made these. I love them, and I wish I knew your name. Actually, I didn't look on Steam to get that. But regardless, this is the beach that we made during that time lapse. Pretty simple, pretty nice, I think, as just like a more private and less commercial beach. So we got a very simple parking lot over here that's dirt, obviously, nothing paved or fancy. I mean, I know that we probably could have gotten away with like a paved parking lot over here just because this whole thing is very nice, but I don't know, just to me, something about this private beach really meant that I thought it needed to have this like dirt parking lot, especially because this whole area is very natural looking, and I didn't want to break that up with like a big giant cement slab over here. So we got some nice dirt parking on this side, a very simple little centerpiece here with some benches and some, actually I kind of want to, now that I'm looking at this, I kind of want to do this. Let me grab the bench real quick. I don't want to put one on the other side as well. I feel like there should be some seating over here. We are now using the precision prop tool, which is amazing. So watch this. I can just like line these up exactly how I want them, just like so. And obviously there's gonna be some clipping here, but that's okay. Lining them up exactly how I want them, and they place down exactly where I put them, which is amazing. I'm gonna move this out of the way so we can actually put this in the right spot. I think that's a bit better. Bring this back on over here again. But this is amazing. This is like so awesome, especially for placing down. You saw, the fences, they go straight where they're supposed to go, no like offset stuff going on. This is so much easier for putting stuff down, so highly recommend it if you don't have it already. Very amazing mod. I'm gonna put down a few more benches over here just to kind of clean it up, but I kind of felt like we should have some double-sided benches over here like that. But anyway, so we got the parking lot over here. We got a second kind of extension of the parking lot, and then, as I said in the time lapse, just kind of like some simple little entry points. I think this is very private beach-esque. It seems like these more non-commercial beaches will have very simple entry points, like little dirt paths that kind of come in, and they cut between the foliage and the rocks right around every so often like this. And then it seems like these beaches also, and I think this is like goes true with any beach really, but there's going to be like the kind of rocky cliff area that's like just immediately outside of the sand, kind of as like an erosion barrier, so you're not going to have the water riding up and going off into areas you don't want it to go into. So we got that going on over here with some nice foliage on the top and the tall grass and whatnot, which I think turned out pretty nice as well. We'll do something with this connection over here, but for now what I'm looking to do is really start expansion over here. So we want to have maybe some simple neighborhoods that kind of go up around here, some nice beach homes that have a nice view of the ocean over here. Very nice view of the ocean, actually. This is like the actual open ocean over here on this side, so I'd imagine some pretty nice houses are going to go over here. And then and that's going to kind of pave way for some expansion in the future too. I've been talking about this a little bit, but I really want to start laying out some of our kind of like plans and I guess the basic roads for the way we want the rest of this island to go. We're sort of reaching the end point on expansion for this island, because I don't want to do a whole lot over here beyond the basic neighborhoods and whatnot. So we're going to start the expansion. We're going to eventually jump into an episode that will be focused almost entirely on terraforming, where I want to really jump into working around these mountains and kind of fixing these up, because again, you can see the difference between these mountains over here and even these, where they got a lot more, I guess, dynamic and like interesting terrain versus these, which I made whenever I started the map and whenever I created the map in the first place, which they're fine, but I think they could use a little bit more attention, I guess, when it comes to shaping things. So we'll do that. We'll shape all this stuff up, and then and that'll also let us do some a little bit more like natural work over here, so it's not so flat and boring and got a bit more personality to it. So that's the plan there. We'll get to that eventually, but why don't we for now at least just jump into some neighborhood work and see what we can do with that. Alright, so what I'm thinking here, oops, that didn't even change. What I'm thinking here is, first of all, we kind of want to have these neighborhoods start to move out in this direction and then become a little bit more organic and flowy, because I'm not going to connect them to this avenue here, which might seem like a weird decision. Now, the main reason is obviously it would cause mayhem in traffic. You can see everything here is free-flowing. There's no traffic lights that are stopping these cars from moving in and out. If we had a traffic light here, it would be terrible, so we are not going to do that. That would break our whole system with this little interchange here. So instead of that, I want to have the entire neighborhood branch off of this road over here, which right now isn't all that stressed. It's actually got plenty of space here. We've got, obviously direct access to the avenue from here, so this would be a good decision, I think. Now, alongside that, I do want to also have some sort of like denser neighborhoods right here. So I think what I'm going to do is, first of all, I want to get like the main road that's going to go up in this direction, and I'm going to try and make this one kind of organic. So it's going to have like a bit of an angle here. Nothing will base our tighter neighborhoods off of, but something that kind of moves into the more organic roads over here. So I'm going to go this way and then do some more kind of curvy stuff just to get us over here. And then that will be a good base for the neighborhoods on this side. But for over here, I kind of want to mimic what we're doing over on this side. So you can see we're doing like well, actually over here they're 3x3s, but mostly it's 2x2s. I think, and some death it looks like, and probably another death wave from all of this zoning at the same time. Seems to always be an issue, so that should be fixed soon. We'll let that kind of do its thing. But for over here anyway, I think as we move away, I want to try to not have as much 2x2 and more like 3x3 and 4x4. So with that in mind, let's do... Why are these all being built up like this? This is kind of weird. I don't really know what's going on there. Let's go one more over. So if we're over here, that gives us a 4x4, and then we have two little areas of space. I'm going to actually disable zoning on this one. So it's upgrade, and then... Oh, I do not have that mod. Okay, I'm used to Arrowhead. It has that mod. That's all right. Well, we'll actually use something to disable the zoning, so not a big deal. In fact, if I just zone this, if I just zone this like so, then it won't grow anything over here, obviously. So that's fine, no big deal there. So let's bring this road in, have it cross here, and then I think it's gonna have to dead end over here somewhere, most likely. So do something like maybe get to like here and then start curving a little bit, like this perhaps. Looks kind of nice. Ooh, I don't really want it to cut into the mountain though. In fact, I want to not force this to be on the ground. That's the main thing. I don't know why I have that enabled. I guess this could probably be pushed over a tad bit anyway though. We'll have some housing all along here. I might not bring it all the way out here, so we have some kind of empty space by this interchange over here on this side, but God, that frame rate gets really bad looking over there. I'm going to keep it over here on this side. So from there, that's like pretty much all I wanted to do with the gridded, like kind of blocked neighborhoods. So now we can move into the more free-flowing stuff. And again with this one, I'm going to actually keep this relatively straight just because I want to have some sort of baseline road to work with. So we'll have it go like that, and then maybe a curve again and go this way like this. I might even zone on this road actually. I think that would work if we brought it all the way down to here. So if we did this, how's the angle on this? It's a little bit too far this way. Let's go up a little tiny bit. Actually, I'm going to go back a little bit on this one as well. So up by 2. Take you to like there. Is that going to be closer? That is too close. I think, yeah, I want to kind of mimic the level of turning we have going on over there. So something like that should do the trick. Perfect. All right, so now we got a nice kind of smooth curve going on. Probably not going to go all the way back here, but I'm going to leave that there for now, just kind of test the waters. And then for back here, let's see, maybe we'll have like a single road that comes out at first. I want to have like a loop or something back here with houses on it. Let me try and draw that first, I guess. It might be a bit too tight for a little loop, actually. We could have like a perfect circle, actually. That might be kind of cool. Let me try that just out of curiosity. So if we did like that 3x3, 1, 2, 3x3. Oops, that's too far. Yeah, 3x3, Oh wow, that actually works really nicely. I'm going to use the Move It tool, which is incredible, by the way, if you didn't know. And then we'll just do some adjustments here. We can page it up. We can do like pretty much whatever we want to this little roundabout, which makes all this stuff like super easy to manipulate, which is awesome. So let's bring it right about there, which I think kind of centers it in this little rock formation up here. Now it's not very flat right now. Let's see if we can kind of flatten it out a little bit. You have to like select something else real quick and then come back. So I'm going to bring these down just to kind of level it out. It's not going to be like this permanently, but I want to have these all be on the same height if we can get that. So just kind of level this out a little tiny bit. Something like this is starting to look better. This almost seems a bit too high at this point, actually. Yeah, that's much better. All right, I think we are pretty much there on the leveling. Okay, so from there, oops, getting a little dark. Let's bring it back this way. And I think the positioning is good. So I guess that really just means we should probably level the terrain at the top here so we can actually build houses up here and not have any problems. So I'll do that. Bring this terrain kind of to a more even position. It's gonna do this anyway when we build the houses, so may as well have more control over it now and just do it right out the gate so we can have it fixed sort of how we want it to be. I think if we bring these in a little bit, it might look a bit better. Okay, we don't want to have any, well actually, can we have those little 2x2 things? I don't really want to. Let's see if we can get this to look, yeah, 3x3. Should be able to do that on this side too if we bring it over enough. Yeah, so let's try and even it out still while keeping it as circular as it can be. Alright, that's the wrong way. Go this way. It's very hard to balance this out. That looks to me a little bit more circular, maybe with some minor adjustments here and there. Okay, I'm liking that. So there's a little endpoint circle. And what we can do now is bring a road off from here, I think. You know, I'm almost considering doing like a half circle that sort of does this and then connects one side over here like that. Ooh, that's interesting actually. Let me go right up to there. I think that looks pretty nice actually. I mean, it really does fill the space well, and it does lend itself to, I mean, we could definitely do a lot with this area now. Let me try and flatten this a little tiny bit. Looks like we got some this hill goes up much higher than I thought it did actually, so we're gonna have to make some room here for our houses that are gonna go in over here on this side. I don't want to cut too much into our look over here. I like the natural kind of shape of these mountains over here, so I'm gonna try and leave it as best I can, but at the same time we'll, you know, smooth things out here and there. Leave room for some more housing, but I really can't wait to see what this looks like. This little top area is gonna be fantastic when it's done. So there's that. Now from here, well, I definitely am going to be zoning right alongside this street. In fact, I think this kind of deserves to then just become a regular road and not the main road type here. So we'll do a bit of that, and then I do want to have a couple roads kind of cutting in here, but again, nothing too intrusive. It should definitely try to just kind of be a very modest little neighborhood. Nothing too crazy. I think I like that. And then we could even have something come off of this road over here. Another one of these like sort of dead end kind of things. I don't know. I'm just trying to play around with like a shape that not only makes sense as a neighborhood, but hopefully looks kind of nice aesthetically from above. Which you would be surprised how I think few actual neighborhood planning committees would be concerned about the overhead look of their of their neighborhoods. It's more about just being efficient, at least in the US. I think that's kind of a thing everywhere, though. There's really not a reason to make it look aesthetically pleasing from above, because like who's going to look at it from above besides like someone on an airplane or something? So really not a primary concern for most people. But I care. So I think this is pretty good, honestly. I mean, it looks a little bit strange, obviously, but I think once we fill the houses in, it's going to really start to fill out, and then it'll give us like plenty of kind of organic looking outer area to play with. We can have some trees and things, maybe some clusters here and there, but we're going to really bring those tree clusters in as we get further away from this area, which is very barren. I think it's got like, you know, a few little tree clusters here and there, but mostly just bushes and stuff. So once we get out to this area, it'll be some denser clusters here and there, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and start zoning now. I think I'm just going to really straight up zone this whole thing. I'm not really going to worry too much about particulars. For over here, you know, I don't even know what's growing in over here, actually. I'm pretty sure I didn't define this as a district yet, and I should definitely do that. So, oh, this is all part of Copperville. Okay, that's good. I'm just going to extend this all the way out then. Try and connect it with the edges here. Same thing over here. Just bring it all the way down, and we'll worry about the rest later on. For now, we're in good shape. Actually, I think I'm just gonna. I don't think I've touched this in a super long time, but I think we should probably try to include this resort up here as part of Copperville. So we'll bring it up here, bring it around this way. I'll include the marina as well. Actually, I'm gonna rename the marina, so I'm gonna exclude the marina, I think. We'll exclude the marina, but we'll try to include the housing that's like right up on the marina if we can. So that sort of means doing this, then cutting that, but leaving this singular strip. I'm going to use these roads as like a way to define it. So do that, cut this away, like so. Again, we'll use the roads to sort of make a nice clean edge, like so. And then you guys can be pretty much cut. Okay, let's do the cutting first and then fix it. So get all that stuff out of there. Oops, I didn't really cut it enough, did I? I want to get it right up against this and then use the road to sort of define it. Perfect. And then we'll just include this resort as well. Anyway, the reason why I'm so worried about this is this district does hold the map theme, or the building theme, which I believe is, yeah, Rhinestone Suburbs. And if we don't have that enabled, we're gonna get some super weird vanilla buildings growing in here. So definitely don't want that. But I'll go ahead and fill this out. Just like these are gonna be some smaller buildings kind of growing in over on this side. Nothing too crazy. And then we'll jump into this area over here. These houses are going to be awesome now. I can't wait to see what this looks like. And then I'll zone this area here, but I'm going to leave this centerpiece kind of open. And then let's do like a 2x2 and then some bigger homes. Zone all these 2x2s here. I'll leave that as is. Zone all these, and I think these homes in particular are going to get some attention. We'll do some like kind of beach home style stuff. We'll maybe have some walkways from each house going down to the beach, and work on that in a minute here once those grow in. But for now, let's go ahead and just continue filling all this stuff out. Now hopefully we actually get all these guys to move in. Usually wouldn't be a problem, but of course right when we do this we have a death wave for some reason, so we'll have to wait a little bit. Shouldn't be a big deal though. Fill the rest of this in for the most part. Actually, just pretty much entirely gonna fill this whole thing in. I think all the rest of this is supposed to be zoned, so we'll just do that real quick. And then here's another part we have to kind of pay attention to. I don't want to go too far out, so we'll do 3x3s all through here. And then I'm gonna bring this out as well, like so. I think I don't really want to connect it to the highway here, so I think I'm just gonna do this instead. I'll just have like a a little thing like that. And we can even use the surface painter to kind of clean this up a tad if we want to. So I'll do some stuff like that. That's kind of cool. I like that. Wonder if I can get this a bit. Oh yeah, this already becomes dirt here, so not really. There we go. That's what I want. Perfect. All right, so while we wait for these to sort of fill out, I want to start also planning out this area just a tad bit. You can see though already we're getting like a pretty big increase in number of cars trying to enter this area, and they're all still flowing, so there's obviously no reason for them to fully stop and create any actual traffic. It's more just lots of cars trying to enter the same area at the same time. You know, it's always going to cause minor amounts of backup, but nothing really to be concerned about, because again, this entire thing is free flowing. On top of that, we also have added like a ton of houses to this inner side over here, which means lots of traffic going down this way. So once we start adding some more houses over here, I'd expect the traffic to kind of level out a bit, or at least it'll continue to add traffic, but only to the number of cars going in this direction, which should be a bit less. So anyway, the first thing that I want to do is I've been wanting to add a gas station over here for a little while now. It's kind of like something I was eyeballing. So let's see if we can do that real quick. I'm in the wrong area right now. I wonder if it'll fit right here. That's what I'm really curious about. I don't really know if it will, actually, but it looks like it actually will. Sweet. Okay. So I'm thinking it should be facing this way, and then it should also obviously not be clipping this. In fact, I'm going to get rid of this thing anyway. It's kind of a weird spot. Actually, that kind of looks good to me. I like how this barrier just kind of ends right there, connecting to our gas station. So that's pretty nice. I think I'm going to keep that. And then what we can do is, well, first of all, let's go ahead and fill this area out just a tad bit with some concrete, and then this kind of looks like, you can see it's a car wash, so it should probably have an exit point over here. Why not do that like this? So let's see if we can get this to kind of come out just a little bit and then connect like that. Looks pretty nice. I wonder if we can get this to kind of come here, yeah, and then just merge like that, so it's kind of a natural, like a more natural looking connection point here. Same with this side if we can help it. So something like that. Kind of nice. I like that. Alright, so then for the, obviously the exit needs to have some sort of fencing or something. I'll do that real quick. Maybe like, maybe just the standard, not the picket fence, the split fence? Is that what you call this? They call it the farmer's fence, whatever. Something like that. And we'll toss this one down over here. I kind of want it to... Let's see, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this like a general fence for the back. So it's going to go here to here and then all the way down to here. And then for the actual exit, I'm going to use some traffic cones. Just some of these, kind of simple. And then we'll just kind of plop them down as we see fit here. So maybe just a couple coming out. Start kind of guiding this curve like that. That's probably good for there. And then here I'm just going to make like 3 just to kind of guide you in the right direction. Just for our exit point here. And then I kind of feel like this would be a good spot for some dumpsters in the back or something. You'd think there'd be some trash or something back here. Let's throw a few little dumpsters down or something. And we'll probably come back and do the majority of the detailing in like a time lapse, or maybe even just off camera. Honestly, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but I kind of like doing a bit of it on camera occasionally. So we'll have to do something here too. Maybe maybe like a 7-Eleven would fit over here. In fact, that might actually fit. I wonder if I can. I don't think I can just like manually place these like 7-Elevens. I think it's called 7. I'm just gonna search 7. There's the 7-Eleven. I don't think that I can just plop this down though. That's the thing. I'm gonna plop it and then move it. I'm pretty sure it'll like immediately despawn though. Let's see. At least I think it will. Maybe it won't, actually. Well, either way, I'm gonna rotate it because I wanted it to be. I don't really want these things to be here, but it looks like it's the only way we can get this to work. So, wow, they're like right in the way. Why is that a thing? I don't want those there. This would look so cool if we didn't have all this weird stuff here. Whatever. We'll find something to go here. I'll worry about that later. But for now, I wanted to get this just to kind of know. You know what? Let's put it over here. Why don't we put a 7-Eleven over here? This will look much better anyway. So go back. Give me that 7-Eleven back. I'm gonna put it there. Obviously not permanently. And then I'm gonna just move this. Let me stop this being fast forwarded here. Let's move this back a little bit. Right up against this train barrier here. There we go. That seems like a fitting place for a 7-Eleven. Right next to the right next to the railway there. So that's good. Let's throw down some concrete to kind of merge it all together. That's really weird. Let's fix that. I kind of liked what we did over here. Let me see if I can kind of do something similar. So if we bring this to like there, then this could become dirt. Like so. Not really sure how I feel about that in particular. That's kind of nice though. Well, I mean, obviously this can't all be like perfect, so we'll come back and we'll use fences to kind of hide the fact that this isn't smooth, and then we'll use some, you know, foliage and whatnot to fix all that stuff. But I'm not going to jump too far into that. So back to what we were trying to do here, and actually it looks like, oh, we don't have any water over here. Okay, that's not good. Let's bring that in. I'm just gonna connect it down there, and then I guess we'll just connect this grid like we were doing in the past. Something like that. Should help with our water problem. But it looks like all these grew in, which is nice. So that's good. Population is on the rise a little bit. I kind of wanted some nicer homes than these, although I think they're still at their lowest level. Yeah, so once we get some upgrading going on, that should fix that. But anyway, let's jump in and try to tweak this area over here. So we've kind of begun with the neighborhoods over here. You can see, again, we're kind of doing this like sort of grid and cookie cutter, very, very compact design for that. I'm going to try and break away from that a bit over here. So first of all, we are still on the same grid. Can I get this to be... I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. So let's follow this grid, which I think is on par with this one. It is, okay. And I think we should do one more sort of grid-like section here. So this is going to be 5, so 2x2s. Same thing over here. Gonna follow that pretty much all the way down to here to kind of really define these neighborhoods over on this side. And then I wonder if we could, I don't think it really makes a lot of sense to do that, especially because there's like a fence right here. I don't think that would really be a super good idea. Well, actually, let's make the road here. Oh, well, we're gonna hit this thing very soon. Okay, I can see that working. That's good. So we got some 3x3 housing in here. We'll have to obviously cut the zoning off a bit early so we don't get like right up against this fence over here, but that's fine. All right, so real quick, I actually just fixed something off camera that I'm pretty happy with the result of. So as you can see here, this is all flowing much differently now. We did have some minor issues. You may have kind of noticed just like some very minimal backup over here. Also some backup over in this area over here. So what I did, let me go to, and I apologize for the frame rate. It's in full speed, so you can kind of see the effects of everything. But of course, you know, full speed combined with all of this stuff is slowing my computer down a bit. But regardless, so the first thing that I did that you might notice is that this is no longer like a perfect circle like this, which was causing traffic here to make a right angled turn here, and then again over here, and then especially here traffic was making a right hand turn, like a right angled turn here, and slowing down to make that turn just to kind of like bounce out like this, when in reality it's much smoother to have this be a diagonal turn, which allows them to maintain all their speed. So nobody's slowing down at the end of this little thing, and it allows for like a pretty even flow of traffic out this way. Now over here, this wasn't the only problem with this side, unfortunately. So once we fixed this and we got a pretty clean flow that for the most part doesn't slow down at all once they hit this area over here, The next issue was this area right over here. So you can see now there's a little bit of a bridge and a tunnel here, but what used to be here is what the game considered to be a 5-way intersection. It's actually just a 4-way intersection, though. You know, it's just like traffic moving in and out here, and then this road crossing. Now, the problem is, of course, there's no traffic lights with these because, well, they were just the standard, 1-lane roads, which don't get traffic lights. So that meant all the traffic coming in here with all the traffic leaving and the traffic crossing here was all intersecting, and it was causing some really big backups on this road coming in. So what I did is I extended this out by removing this intersection and then creating a little tunnel underneath, which I think actually turned out kind of cool. It's just a little like underpass sort of thing. I think I'm actually gonna bring this dirt over on this side as well. For some reason, it just kind of, it was like that on the other side. And I think it kind of looks nice if they're both doing the same thing. I don't know, whatever. I might tweak this later on anyway, but so we got an underpass now, which actually sort of evened out the amount of traffic that was taking this this little underpass to begin with. But then from there, you might be thinking, well, okay, would that not just create the same problem right here, where we would have the same intersection with 4 2-way roads? Well, what I did over here, you might notice, is this is a one-way street going this way, and this is a one-way street going this way, so traffic can't actually enter this road unless they get all the way out this way over here. So it allows all the traffic that's trying to get to the inner parts or the marina over here to very easily enter and then exit off of a one-way street, rather than all going into an intersection and causing a whole bunch of chaos. So this little sort of I don't like partitioned exit point, I guess, so that half the traffic can leave early before reaching the main intersection over here, really helps with that. And the reason we couldn't do this over here, obviously, is we can't have this be a one-way street going this way, or else nobody could get into this area over here. So that's sort of the gist of all this. That's why everything is different and working different now, but it actually seems to work really well. So that's pretty awesome. Just a little thing that I decided to fix because it was kind of bothering me. We're going to have a much heavier traffic flow coming in this way as we continue onwards. So we really want to make sure that we're keeping this stuff very up to date and making sure that all the roads are optimal for the future traffic, which is going to be pretty significant, I would imagine, considering we haven't even filled out this area over here and we have to zone all this stuff over here. So that brings me to this area, which we were kind of working on a bit just a minute ago. I don't think I'm actually going to bring this avenue out like I was trying to do. I just don't really think that this Copperville area should extend too far out this way. I think I'm going to have some like very remote roads over here, and same with like down here, but I don't really want to have like main roads, because again, I'm really trying to fight the urge to just like fill everything here with neighborhoods. I really wanted to have like a sharp contrast between the main town over here, the main city over here, I should say, and maybe some less dense stuff over here, combined with some natural things like some mountains and some hills and stuff. So that's why I'm thinking this way. So what that means is we need to find a natural way to sort of end this little avenue over here. And now the more that I'm thinking about this, the more that I'm thinking maybe it would actually be in our best interest to straight up remove this avenue connection here. Obviously that's going to cause some temporary issues with this. I think what I'm going to do then is make this be a regular 2-lane 2-way road. So something like that, which means we would probably need to bring this 7-Eleven in just a little bit so that it's actually connected to the road. So something like that. That should be close enough for road connection. And then from there, it's pretty easy just to, fix these little, whoops, that's the wrong type. Actually, I think I might leave that because I don't want to tear up the road. Well, actually, that worked just fine. Let's do that. Anyway, so there's 7-Eleven. We'll work on the rest of this later. But now that we don't have an avenue coming out, which I think looks much more, it makes more sense to have this dead end now if it's not going to be an avenue. Then what we can do is we can make this be, let's see, this is a 5. So if we go out to here, that would match, and then we can do a connection from here to here, something similar. Can I use, oh yeah, I don't have that. There we go. And then let me make a straight connection here. There we go. Perfect. So now we're jumping into the avenues, or the avenues. We're jumping into. I was thinking of the avenues. Now we're jumping into the neighborhoods and stuff, and we've broken away from this avenue, but it still kind of looks natural to have an avenue that breaks off from here that leads you into the neighborhoods over here anyway. So that's good. I'll hit play so we can actually see what's going on here. And actually, I'm kind of a fan of the way that this kind of curves around and goes back in this direction again. I think it's kind of a cool look that we got going on. So we can try and maintain that a tad bit here. Now, this is where we need to make some decisions. So if you remember, I think this was like 3 episodes ago at this point, we were making this road, and the main purpose of it, first of all, was not to be a bridge. I don't know why I was doing that. The main purpose was for this to be sort of like an organic road that kind of defines where the coast is going to be. So, making some nice curves and things here and there to do that. And then we were connecting the grid to it in a way that that still allowed lots of buildings to spawn, but it kind of breaks up the monotony of just like straight grid. So I think we'll continue to try to work with that. And then I don't want to get in the way of these houses here, but I kind of wanted to have something come out this way. Let's just do it. I want to have a connection like here. So I'll just do something like this. Turn this into a curve like that. There we go. That's better. Okay, sweet. So the zoning is there. I guess that leaves expansion in this direction. And then I think before we go any further this way, I think next episode I want to focus a bit on like polishing off this corner over here. And then we'll start expanding in this direction again. But a lot of this and a lot of next episode is going to be mostly focused, like I said, on expansion and on laying out where these roads are going to go for the rest of this area over here. I'm trying to kind of look at a more of a bigger picture now because I've been so focused on this little marina over here and like tweaking it and stuff. So I'd like to continue expanding and then hopefully get pretty close to that episode where we start retweaking all the landscaping and stuff, because I'm pretty excited for that, honestly. I've been looking forward to doing something with this little lake up here and terraforming and fixing this over here. Maybe even doing some slight adjustments to this so that this becomes flowing water, because right now, I don't know if you noticed, but once it gets to here, it's kind of just like a lake. There's nothing, no currents going on. It's all flat. That was, I made this a long time ago, and I really didn't know about the importance of like currents and having rivers. In fact, I didn't know anything about map making. I just kind of like made this map on the fly, first attempt, with no real knowledge of what was really necessary for a map. Still got comments about that, by the way, on my on my map on the Steam Workshop. I do apologize for that. I think it's a pretty solid map. It's just it's missing a few things that would make it a little bit more playable to the average person. Obviously, I don't really care much about these not being flowing rivers at the moment anyway, because I don't really worry about plopping down sewage plants in areas like this anyway, or freshwater plants. So anyway, that's all, whatever. We'll be tweaking this stuff regardless. So anyway, I think that is pretty much it for this episode. I really just wanted to, like I said, work on the beach. We got the beach done, and man, these rocks look gorgeous. So I'm happy that we got to, at the very least, finish this, and then start the expansion on these upper houses. Now, obviously, we haven't actually gotten the foliage and the detailing in yet. Once these homes get updated a bit, and you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back. Yeah, do I have these? Hang on a minute. I don't think I have them, but apartments might not pull it up, but I bet apartment. Oh, it does. So these Emerald Hill apartments, I'm going to just do this right now, actually. These, oh, wait, hang on a minute. I was trying to do that. These, to me, look quite a bit like beach houses, and I think I'm going to use these right along the edge here. I won't put them down quite yet, but I'm going to use these pre-built things, mostly just this one, most likely, to make this little row actually feel like a beach house area, because I don't know if you've ever stayed in beach houses, but for the most part, these like houses that you rent out that are on the beach are these like gigantic like 4-story homes that have like, that look very similar to the apartments that I just had up here. So, and this is only like a 2-story, probably has like a basement or something too, but Anyway, so we'll use this. We'll make this area feel like an actual beach house strip, and we'll throw down this stuff. That'll come next episode. But anyway, for real now, that is actually the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think of all this stuff so far and the expansion going on in Copperville. I gotta say, I really do actually like the direction it's going, and I'm pretty excited to play around with this more like rural stuff. I want to have some little dirt roads and things, and see what we can do with that. It's not really something that I do very often, but I think it'd be kind of a fun little challenge before we get to the terraforming. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.